No, there is also this thing that many people face, especially youth, especially those daring youth, daring, courageous youth, who have stepped outside the norm, the normal beaten track. They have somehow stepped out. For example, recently one boy asked me, he has a research career, but he has a corporate career. His heart wants him to go towards research. He's all for it. But the pay is not so high, he does not know. But corporate career is guaranteed. Parents, everybody wants to drive him towards the corporate career. Now doubts assail him. How does he decide? And once started, what will happen? This is an example, but so many doubts crop up in our mind, especially if we go slightly away from the beaten track. Even if we are in the beaten track, most of us stay there because of our fears and insecurities. Daily morning we wake up and hate going to office, and still okay, somehow. There is one way to approach it, but it's a very difficult and misery bound way to approach it. A rather better way to approach it is to see larger reason, the larger purpose for which we are doing this action. That gives us a sense of meaning, purpose, and direction. But when doubts assail us, how should we handle it? We don't know which is right for us, GRE or CAT, corporate job or higher studies. It seems all, and if you ask 100 people give 100 different opinions. Tala suttu. So first things we need to get one thing clear. When we get any input, the manas, what we call the mind, actually goes from here, another input, here, another input. It swings. It swings and sways, not in just 2D. Imagine 3D swinging and all over, hyperdimensional swinging. That's how the manas goes. So you can imagine how complex it is. So it swings. But this is not confusion. This is a valid process of gaining exposure, where you get more data in. If you need to identify which bike to buy, only then with respect to that purpose, then various inputs, someone says, hey, this mileage is good, then you get excited about it. Then someone says, hey, no, this maintenance is very good. Oh, then you don't need to get excited. If you observe the process clearly, with each input, with each data, that is, your whole data points grow. You become rich with data. Yet, you don't need to decide. Only when the decision point comes do you need to decide. Till then, you don't need to decide. But many people convert this process of gathering data into a complex process of deciding each moment. Now this. Then again it gets disrupted. Oh, now this. Again, so that path is tedious. Otherwise, it's just gaining data. Only when the decision point arrives, you need to decide. So this process of doubt, this is the process of what people generally assume to be confusion. It's not confusion. It's a process of data gathering. And hence you don't need to be, you don't need to look at it as confusion with each input. When this is settled, then you see there is a process of data gathering and there is this process of decision making. After decision making, if some doubt arises, that's what we are going to look at. So not before decision making. Before decision making, it's data gathering and there are multiple paths open. It's very valid. If you are not sure of it and if you are, if the people around you support you, then if you are young, let's say before 30, is the time to experiment. You can experiment for short periods, say 1 or 2 years, with one path. And if you feel it's valid, hey, exciting, then you can continue. Otherwise, you can pull back, okay, let me turn directions. This is a very valid mechanism which is available to everybody. But now people think in terms of very unidimensionality. They don't look at richness of experience. They look at, okay, money. If that is top priority for you, then this sort of a exploration is not a good idea. But in case money is not the biggest focus for you, then exploring is not harmful at all. In fact, you will see that after 30, you become really rich. After 40, people actually consult you, seeking your wisdom that you have gained through that richness of exploration, because your data points are varied, wide, extremely accommodative of multiple arenas. So if you explore one path, the path of exploration is clear. If there are doubts, you hold it at bay until that period of exploration is complete. But let's say in this, money is not the deciding factor. Now, this is a straightforward example, but there may be complicating factors like, oh no, I need to get married by 24. Then what do I do? My girlfriend does not allow me to. That you need to earn the support of people around you, as I said. People are everything in your life. If people don't support you, then it's very tough. So towards that, there is no harm in actually keeping at bay your inclinations for some time and allowing it to surface later on. Or sometimes compromising, okay, taking another trajectory. It's not wrong. When you see the larger scheme of things, you will see there are various paths to the same destination, and hence it's okay. So that is inner space. It accommodates varieties of paths. That is very, very important to invest in. That's where meditation, all these inner sciences come in, where it gives you that inner space to accommodate all the experiences that happen to you in a positive frame of mind. Otherwise, you can become extremely bitter over this process of doubts, blame game, and my parents do not allow me to do it, my girlfriend, this, that, and it will never end because the circumstances govern what you go through. That's never a great idea. Your inner experience should be not just a consequence of the circumstances around you. It should be more than that. It should be as per what you see, the deeper reason that you see and apply in life. That's a good way to lead life.